All. I hope you are all quite fit and fine. Well, students, we'll be beginning with our first term syllabus of English 1. And before we begin with the syllabus, I would like to inform you that the question paper pattern of English 1 will be entirely different from the previous classes. Kindly note down the changes. This will be your the new pattern of ICSE questions. Now, first question would be composition, where you'd be getting various options, and you have to choose any one topic and write on it for about 300 to 350 words. The marks allotted to this question is 20. Second question would be letter writing, where you will be writing informal or informal. There will be a choice for formal or informal letter, which would carry 10 marks. Third question would be notice writing, email writing, which would carry 5 marks each. Comprehension would be for 20 marks, and rest will be the grammar part, where you would be will be marked for your functional grammar, structure and usage of language. So these are the marks distribution for each. Now let's begin the chapter of the first term. The first term syllabus has the parts of speech. Now, before we come to the topic parts of speech, we should revise actually about sentence, phrase, clause, etc. Now, as we know, there are 26 alphabets in English, which we call letters. Now, out of this 26 alphabets, we have 5 vowels and the leftover are all consonants. 21 are consonants. Now, vowels, if you name the vowels, we know that the vowels are A, E, I, O, U. And the missing letters to these vowels are B, C, D, F, G, H, J, K, L, M, N, P, Q, R, S, T, V, W, X, Y, Z. So all these are consonants. When these vowels and consonants are arranged in a systematic order, they form a word. When they are arranged in a systematic order, they form a meaningful word, like A, P, P, L, E makes the word apple, right? When these words, suppose like an apple a day keeps a doctor away. So notice this sentence carefully. Now these words are arranged in a systematic order. When the words are arranged in a systematic order and give a meaningful sense, they give a meaningful sense, it is called a sentence. It is called a sentence. Therefore, how do we define a sentence? Sentence is a group of words so arranged as to make complete sense. Now, coming back to the topic, the next point to learn is, this is the first point you should know, these are the basics of the chapter. Now, second part is kinds of sentences. Now, there are 4 main kinds of sentences, namely, first is assertive sentence. Assertive sentence is also called declamatory sentence. We call it declarative sentence. The assertive sentences are those sentences which make statements. These sentences make make a statement. They make a statement. And assertive sentences can be affirmative as well as negative. Now, affirmative sentences are those which are positive in nature, and negative sentences are those which contain a negative word like not, which contain not in a sentence. Now I'll give an example, like Ram plays football. This is an assertive sentence in affirmative form. This is affirmative form where the sentence has a positive meaning. Now, second example I would like to give you is Ram does not play cricket. This sentence contains not, which makes the sentence negative. Hence, it is called a negative sentence. But both the sentences all together are called assertive sentence or declarative sentence because they make a statement. Now, second kind of sentence is imperative sentence. Imperative sentences are those which are either a command, request, or an order. Now, these sentences, imperative sentence, they do not need any subject. Now, you should remember every sentence has a subject, verb, and object, right? Imperative sentences, though they are command, request, and order, but they do not require a subject. For example, like command, if you take an example of command, open the door quickly. Request, please give me a glass of water. Order, bring that book to me. Now, you can see all these sentences, they do not require any subject. You can assume the subject on your own. Open the door quickly. The speaker is asking somebody to open the door, that you open the door quickly. Please give me a glass of water. He is asking somebody for a glass of water. Bring that book to me. The person is ordering something to bring that particular book to him. So, these are the imperative sentences. Now, third kind of sentence is interrogative sentence. Interrogative sentence. Interrogative sentences, what do? Such sentences, they do interrogation. Interrogation means they ask questions. They ask questions like, what is your name? And they end up with a question mark. Where do you live? They end up with a question mark. So, interrogative sentences, they ask questions and they end up with a question mark. They begin with a capital letter and end up with a question mark. Fourth kind is called exclamatory sentence. Exclamatory sentence. Now, exclamatory sentences are those sentences which express sudden feeling. These type of sentences express sudden feeling. Now, sudden feeling can be that of, for example, sudden feeling can be a joy, can be a sorrow, can be pity, regret, etc. Right? Now, we'll have an example, like if a sentence expresses a joy, like wow. What a lovely dress it is. Second, sorrow could be, alas, he is dead. Expresses a sorrow. Third is pity. For example, like, what a pity. So you can see the four kind of sentences. First is assertive sentence, which makes a statement. Assertive sentences can be affirmative and negative. Affirmative sentences are those which are positive in nature. Negative sentences are those which have a negative word like not in it and makes a sentence negative. Second is imperative sentences. Imperative sentences are those which are either a command, request, or an order. So these are the examples. Coming to the third one is interrogative sentence. Interrogative sentences are those which ask question. They begin with the capital letter and end up with a question mark. Similarly, exclamatory sentences are those which express certain feeling. They are used with exclamatory mark. This mark is called exclamatory. And remember, once the exclamatory mark is used, it is not repeated again. Once it is used, it is not repeated again. Either it comes at the end of a sentence or after an interjection. Now one more thing, the main point to remember is that every sentence begins with a capital letter and ends with a full stop. Both assertive sentences and imperative sentences, they begin with capital letter, end up with a full stop. Interrogative sentences, as I have already mentioned, it begins with a capital letter and ends up with a question mark. Exclamatory also begins with a capital letter. After an exclamatory sign, the first letter in a sentence begins with a capital letter and ends with a full stop. Now next topic is subject and predicate. Now subject and predicate. Now every sentence has two parts. One is subject and other one is predicate. Subject is a naming part in a sentence. And predicate is a part which tells us something, that something is said. When the part which tells something about the subject is called predicate. It tells about the person. So, like an example, the same example will take Ram plays football. In this sentence, you'll find that Ram is a subject because it's a naming part. The naming part is Ram, and the part along with the verb comes and is called predicate. Now this is very clear.